So, when it comes to consciousness, I've always been the kind of guy that I guess you could call materialist or like reductionist. Like, I always believed that thought patterns and, consciousness and, perspectives are essentially just, brain chemistry and like brain patterns, like going out and about to like, produce these experiences. So it never made sense to me whenever like religious or spiritual people would talk about like our soul and our quote unquote like essence and how, you know, that soul experience is what actually like transcends like our body and whatnot. Like to me, it often just sounded like a bunch of like metaphysical nonsense. So, discovering this worldview of emergent materialism, I think it kind of satisfied what I thought was missing between reductionist thought and emergentism and how these two actually coexist. So, coming across this worldview, I think it actually helped me understand a little bit more as to like why people are religious or like end up spiritual. Not that I think that those ideas are still valid, but I can see how they've come into place. So I think it sort of is written in our biological hardware that our experiences have to be emergent and dynamic in order to constitute an actual experience or quote unquote like sense of self. So basically, I think our brains can create like metaphysical cushioning and religious and spiritual ideas just so the brain can prove to itself that it's an actual self. So I think religion, for example, can create a feeling of destiny, which just enforces the idea of having a coherent self. Because to a lot of people, it's either going to be like, oh, I'm going to go to the afterlife, or oh, I'm going to go to the next life, implying that like there's a dynamic process between you and everything that's happening around you. So that's why the notion of like thinking itself can make you feel as though you're self aware, even though everything you think simply can just be reduced to the brain activity. So that's why, despite existing in a hard deterministic schematic of the universe, at least if you ask me anyway, the illusion of free will is so strong. So this is basically why a lot of people have a hard time biting the philosophy of nominalism, because a lot of nominalist thought will say that there's actually no such thing as universals or abstract, and the brain kind of needs to think that there are such things as universals because in order to have like a sense of self, we create organization through our universal terms. But nominalism basically just says that, oh, we just use those as convenient labels, even though we can't actually prove them. And I guess we can even take this back to the problem of induction, because the problem of induction is basically, if you don't know what it is, essentially you cannot have any accuracy about the future based on everything that's happened in the past. Like everything that's happened in the past has only proven that it's worked in the past. So it's a problem because again it threatens the sense of self, where the brain wants to believe that it has a coherent understanding of past, present, and future, but clearly experience is just compensating for itself.